classes. I see in the chat, fostering cats. Awesome. Oh, sourdough. Yeah, my brother got really into sourdough making or sourdough bread making. It's really delicious too. Cool. So I think we can probably go ahead and get started. So let me just share the agenda, and then Pretty, if you want to start recording, we're going to go ahead and start that. All right. And then, yeah, so just thank you all for joining us this morning. I know it's kind of early, but it's a Friday, so that's awesome. And we're just going to do a couple of quick intros. So I'm Lauren Nakamura, and I'm one of the volunteer development managers from Southeast Santa Clara County. And I also have Winnie here. Did you want to introduce yourself? She's helping us.
I am also a volunteer development manager, and I work primarily with Solano County and part of Contra Costa County.
Awesome. And we have Chris.
Guys, my name is Chris Visconti, and I'm a membership manager, which is a blended role between what Winnie and Lauren do and also a recruiter. And I oversee the upper 6 counties in California. So from Siskiyou County down through Shasta County, and then I help also as a sub-support all the way down into Oroville, which is Butte County.
Awesome, thanks. And then, I don't know, we also have some people from product programs. So we have Connor and Kirsten. If you want to wave or say hi, feel free.
Hi, my name is Kirsten. Oh, sorry, Connor, you can go.
Oh, you're good. I'm Connor. I see a lot of familiar faces, so I think I know a lot of you. But I am one of our product program managers. My role has recently changed a bit with the council, but up until the end of the year, I directly supported our South Bay counties, so Santa Clara, San Mateo, and San Francisco. And I now have moved into a project manager role for the whole department, for the whole council. So I'm working to support everyone on eBuddy and digital.
And my name is Kirsten Stevenson. I am a product program coordinator, and I support all of the areas within GS NorCal. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you. So just a couple of housekeeping things. As mentioned before, we're gonna have everyone muted since we have a lot of people on this call today. And yeah, we're recording this as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop it in chat or in the parking lot. We're going to show you that real quick on this next slide. So I'll go ahead and do that. But we're going to do a little icebreaker and then just kind of go into some of the new system layout and how to navigate that, as well as a little stretch break, and then some Zoom hacks and more on cookie selling. So I'm going to go ahead and show you all the little Jamboard. I don't know if anyone's familiar with Jamboard, but it's this cool little tool where you can go and add questions, and you use little like sticky notes. So let me share this link in chat, and then everyone, if you want, you can go ahead and drop in your sticky notes. Just something fun. The first page has what's your favorite way to eat a Girl Scout cookie. And my favorite way is to eat it as a s'more. So using like either the trefoils as like the outside instead of the graham crackers, something like that. So you can just add it. And then to add, you would just go to this little sticky note icon. And if you click that, you'll get a pop-up with a sticky. So you can just type it. And then when you want to do it, you just click save. Yeah, so feel free to get familiar with this. We just wanted to share this tool. A lot of people have been using it at meetings or troop meetings and stuff like that for girls to brainstorm. So we wanted to share that resource. And then
Lauren, I just wanted to pop in really quick for people who haven't used Jamboard, because the first time I used it, I was a little confused. You need to go into the chat, copy and paste the link that Lauren just sent in, open a new browser window, and then that will take you to the Jamboard website. So what you're seeing on the screen is not happening in our meeting. It's actually happening on the jamboard.com website. So.
Yeah, good tip. Sorry, I forgot about that.
That's okay. I just know the first time I did it, I was like, I can't do it. And then I figured it out.
Yeah. And then we also have page 2. So I'll just, as you're adding your ideas, let me just share page 2. It'll be our parking lot. So you can post your questions here. You can also do it in chat. but this kind of adds color to the questions. So as we're presenting today, feel free to come to this page and post any of your questions, and then we'll try to answer them at the end or in chat as we're going through the meeting. So yeah, awesome. Oh, with a cup of coffee. So yeah, look at all the different ways to eat a Girl Scout cookie. Very cool. Okay, let me go back. So keep adding your ideas. I'm going to switch back to our presentation.
Somebody else added my favorite one, frozen Thin Mints. By far my favorite way to eat cookies.
Yeah, those are delicious. So I'm going to grab a drink. Cool. Okay, so let me go ahead. So we're going to go ahead and just demo as you're adding things. Keep doing that, feel free, or we're going to go ahead and start into our system refresh. And Chris is going to kind of demo that and take it over.
Absolutely. So as you guys know, we have been doing a big systems overhaul, right? We loved when we got our new website a couple years ago, but as everything with technology, it needed a refresh. So we were down for a little bit over Thanksgiving break. We came back up in December, and I know a lot of you have been kind of poking around and getting familiar. And some questions have come up, like how do I find a roster and just how does this work? So we want to take the opportunity to show that to you today. So first things first is when you log in, you are going to need to reset your password. So when you're very first in for the first time, it's going to ask you to reset that. You're just going to click forgot password. It'll resend a link to your email address, and then you'll be able to go from your email back over to the website and get in. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now, and I am going to show you guys what my GS looks like. Now, I am a troop leader for multiple welcome troops in the area, as well as I have a daughter who's an independent Girl Scout. And so mine might look a little more cluttered than you because I lead I think it's like 11 or something troops. So just a quick thumbs up. Are you guys seeing my screen and you're seeing our homepage? And right now it says cookies are coming. Okay, so the first place you're going to go is right up to the top of the screen where it says My GS, and that part hasn't changed. When you log into My GS, so this is our new kind of a splash page that everybody would see when they come into the My GS or the Join Girl Scouts button. For you as a troop leader or a service unit member, you're going to go again another step to click into My Account. And this is where it's going to ask you to log in. So you see it kind of showed me it, and then it took it away for a minute. And my computer right now is thinking. It is a little slow, and I apologize about that. It wants me to log in. So there's the login page. And this is where, if you've not been here before, you're going to click forgot password right here. Mine is auto-populated because I've been in a few times. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. Here I am. So this is my main dashboard in my GS. Now, again, I am a leader of many welcome troops. And so you can see here, this is just a synopsis of everything that I lead right now, as well as the members in my household. So there are my two daughters, my husband, our foreign exchange student that was with us for a while. And then this is my daughter who is currently independent registered member. That's just kind of everything at a glance of what's attached to my household. If I scroll down a bit, I've got the troops a little more in depth. I can take a quick peek here to make sure that my meeting date and time are updated. You don't really have a lot of functionality from this screen because, again, this is just your splash screen. And you'll notice that the purple My Account is highlighted. So what I want to show you girls is two main things. First, we're going to just go into the My Troops. And I'm going to let you guys explore the household and the profile and these other tabs on your own. The content that's in them hasn't really changed if you were familiar with our old system. Big difference is that your navigation is now along the left instead of along the top. If you notice here, these buttons are actually the same buttons that are across the top of our regular Girl Scout website. So that is a change from before. So if you go to My Troops and you use the little caret to drop down, again, you see the same listing of all of your troops. And I'm just going to go ahead and go into the Reading group. So now I'm looking at just the view for just this particular troop. And if you only lead one troop, then you're only going to have one option in that caret drop down. So again, you want to pay special attention right here to meeting details. So when you're in, you want to make sure that it is updated to where you are, where your troop is. Obviously, you're not meeting in person, but you want to make sure that, okay, you know, we're based out of such and such school or such and such neighborhood, or when we are meeting in person, we're meeting at this clubhouse or this church. You want to make sure that that information is up to date, because one of the new functionalities that will eventually be coming is a great map. When people log in to find your troop, they're going to be able to see pins dropped on a map, and you want to make sure that your pin for your troop is dropped in the right spot. So if that's not correct, you can click the edit button right here. You'll be able to see your program level, your contact information for both of the leaders that lead your troop, and then you can see all of the girls, and you can also scroll all the way down and you can see the adults. So another big question that people get, other than, you know, who's registered or not, is how do I print a roster? Because we do ask you to have a printed roster in the front of your Girl Scout binder. And if when the time comes when we can do, you know, trips and excursions again, you do need to have a roster printed with you. So in order to print something clean and easy, you're actually going to go out of My GS and into your volunteer toolkit. So that is a drop down here on the left-hand side. And again, that is one of our big changes from our old system to our new system. You'll know before that was an original splash page option. When you first got into My GS, you had to pick My Account or pick VTK. Now it's just one, and then you access VTK down on the side here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my volunteer toolkit. And when I get in here, the first thing you're going to want to look at is make sure you're looking at the correct troop. So if you run more than one troop, the little caret, a little option is way over here in the top corner, and you're going to drop down and choose the troop that you want to look at. So I'm going to again go ahead and look at the same Reading Welcome Troop. And the tabs across the top here have not changed. So you go to My Troop, the first tab, and you can look here for the girls. And a quick glance, you can see who their contact adult is, and they're easily have their phone number. That functionality is the same. You know, you can expand out, see each girl's information if you needed to. This is where you go to email everybody at once. The VTK has an amazing option to send out one email blast to all of your girls to remind them about upcoming troop meetings. But here is where you're going to go to print your roster. So you can either print it directly from the screen, or you can download a copy so that you can manipulate it and then print it from there. So I'm going to use the download function. It's going to download as an Excel. I always save everything in my downloads folder just so it's really easy for me to find. And I'm just going to name it really quick, Welcome Troop, just to make it real easy. Good. So this is what it looks like when it comes out. With most Excel, you would have to, you know, move your things around. I just want to show you briefly real quick, because I have a year plan chosen for this group. It does give me each badge, basically each meeting date. And then I tested this yesterday, and you'll see here that I just put in that my girl Briley attended the Think Like a Citizen Scientist badge day. You know, theoretically, if I'd actually had this, all my girls would attend, right? And so if you were using the VTK to its full capacity, you would actually have X's in all of these, because you would be taking and tracking your attendance, and then meeting after meeting, you could see who came to a meeting and who'd missed a meeting. So that is that. I am going to go ahead and stop sharing. And if maybe one of my coworkers could let me know if there was anything that came up in chat or anything else that I need to touch on.
Yes,
Yeah, it looks like, oh, go ahead, Winnie.
Go ahead. We have a couple of questions about if you don't have Excel, how will this download?
So that I don't have an answer to, because it didn't give me an option, or I could have checked. Let me see.
So it looks like it downloads in a CSV file.
Okay.
So I don't think you need Excel necessarily. As long as you have something that can read CSV, that's usually just like the comma, I don't know what it stands for. But one of those files, I think like you can open it with a MacBook or things like that.
And with Google Sheets as well. So I just verified, I clicked the download button again. Yes, it came up as a CSV. So you could then save that to your computer and open it in whatever capacity opens those. Google Docs would work.
Next, we have a question about VTK. The question is, in VTK, in order to see all work with a badge, I had to add it to my year plan. Is that still the same? She says, also, I had trouble moving items around in my year plan.
Yes. So in the past, the VTK was a little glitchy. Yes. And so, we did have some issues with when you move the meetings and you log back in, they weren't always there. That is one of the functionalities that they said that they've improved. Although I'll tell you, honestly, I have not explored that part of VTK yet. So maybe you could trial it and let us know. But they did say that that is something that they're going to be working on. And then I did see that Priti put in chat just now, next month is VTK special, and that is true. We will be working more as a staff to familiarize ourselves with the changes and be ready to roll that out to you girls during the next volunteer learning series in February.
And that's it so
Okay.
far for our questions in chat.
Okay, awesome. I'll turn it back over to Lauren then.
Okay, let me go ahead and just reshare really quickly. So we're going to take a little stretch break. And we also wanted to show just like one of the cool things that we found, like picker wheel or wheel of names. You can use that to kind of like pick different things. So I think if you can see this, we added in some fun little stretches we could do. And then you would just add in your stretch here or whatever, if you want to choose like girls' names on like picking different items like for them to do or something like that, or calling on names, you would just add their names here and then it populates it into this. So I'm going to go ahead and click spin. And then it kind of spins it around. And shoulder shrugs. So that's this thing. So if everyone wants to do a little shoulder shrug break, I don't know, some people do rolls. You can either just up and down or forward and backwards. Give it another like 10 seconds. You can also do some like arm stretches up in the air. So picker wheel is a free option. It's just pickerwheel.com. There's also one called Wheel of Names. It's kind of the same idea. But these are really fun ways and tools that you can use in your troop meetings and things like that. Some people use it for like a bingo variation if they don't have like a bingo app, or just calling on names for fun little like door prize raffle type of things. So I just wanted to share that and a little stretch break in between. And then next, we're going to go into some Zoom tips and tricks. And just a couple of things before we get started, we are going to go over like some safety considerations and then show some different views depending on the device that you're using. And like, so like Android, Chromebooks, Apple, just showing different devices, variations on how Zoom can look for you. And then we're going to do a little poll just to see what everyone is familiar with. And then one of our little hacks is we have the Zoom app that most people are familiar with, but if you also go to zoom.us, that's where you get all the extra features for managing your meetings. So that's where we'll kind of demo some of the other tools that you use in Zoom, but you definitely want to go to the actual website and then log in from there to get extra access to like polls or breakout rooms and things like that to help you plan your meetings. So let's go to the next slide. And so just a quick reminder, we do have an internet safety pledge. When we share this out, the links will be active, but just a reminder, share that with your girls. It is important that everyone kind of knows what's going on and what they should be doing and how they should be using the internet. So it's important to just make sure they all sign that and they're aware. And we also have like a fun way to show your girls through a game. So we'll share these links out, but we'll have it slide 53 and 54 has like a fun little way to share the internet safety pledge with your girls if you have younger girls. It's like kind of gamified so they kind of understand how that works. And then going into just different things we noticed, we kind of tested this as staff because we noticed some people don't have the same features depending on the device that they're using. So we noticed most things seem to work across like your computer, Android, iPhone. But we did notice that if you're using a Chromebook, and that's really important for like the girls because a lot of them will have Chromebooks. Sometimes the virtual background option doesn't work. And then also like annotating, it doesn't work as well. So just keep those in mind if you're like presenting to girls or things like that. Sometimes they may not actually have the features if you're asking them to do certain items. But we also have this article by Zoom where they go like into super detail about all the different features and variations between the platforms. So yeah, if you ever want, you can check out that article in Zoom or just Google like variations. And then we wanted to share just a couple of different things that we noticed. We did this in a meeting earlier, but just for the annotate feature. So I'm not sure if people have used annotate. It's basically where you can have the girls or you can draw on the screen. So that's one of the options. And some of the drawing tools are different. So we noticed like if you're on a laptop, you have these features. If you're on an iPad, you get actually a little more features than a laptop, which was pretty interesting. And then we noticed that on a phone, you have like a very limited amount of features available to use. And then we also noticed that switching to like the meeting toolbars. So I know most people are probably on a computer and you probably see some of these toolbars, but as a host, so at the bottom, this is the host toolbar. They get a ton more features. So there's like the polling option, or you can record and do breakout rooms. So I know those are kind of the extra features that you get as a host. And then also sometimes for girls, depending on the privacy settings on their devices, they may have less features. So I think this image was shared by one of the troop leaders. She realized that the computer she was using, I think it was her daughter's, she only had the option to see the chat. So she couldn't even react to different like features, like, you know, how you can do a little reaction with a thumbs up or like the party hat. So yeah, she had even more limited features. And then this is from if you're using a GS Zoom account, we noticed that these are some of the features as an attendee that you'll have as well. We just kind of wanted to highlight that. And then another thing to highlight is just the different variations on how you can like have your setup for Zoom. So I know most people are probably familiar with this already, but you can choose gallery view, which is the little kind of like that square of 9 little dots. So that way you can see everyone here. You can see actually up to 25 people at a time. Or if someone's like presenting and you want to spotlight them, you can have it so they look like this. So they have a presentation and then the speaker will be here spotlighted for everyone. And then we also have the gallery view. So you can also do side by side with the gallery so you can see everyone as well as the presentation. And then we wanted to share that from the phone, you actually can only see 4 videos. So keeping that in mind, if you're presenting to like a big group or something, it might be harder for people on the phone because they can only see 4 people at a time. So they'll have to like scroll a lot through all the pages. So we just kind of wanted to highlight some of that. And then I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll just to see how everyone, like different things that people have tried with Zoom and what you're familiar with, just to kind of see what everyone's tried out. And then I guess as people are filling this out, do we have any questions coming in through chat or comments?
I have a question. And if you don't, is it okay if I just ask it? I tried setting up a poll. I had it all pre-set up and ready to go. I was thrilled. I was happy, excited. And then I got to the meeting that night and the poll was gone. Is there some trick to that we need to know so that that doesn't happen?
And you said the poll it just disappeared or?
Gone. Yeah, it was not available when I reopened Zoom and went into the meeting.
I haven't. I'm not as super familiar with that. It could be how it was set up during the meeting. Like if you did it through the zoom.us platform, or like the web page, sometimes it'll link directly. I'm not as familiar if it gets linked directly if you're setting it up via the meeting. So I'm not as familiar. Winnie, do you know if you've had that experience?
I have not. Pretty suggested that it didn't save properly, and
No problem. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll and share the results with everyone. So hopefully you can see that. So it looks like most people are familiar with the virtual backgrounds. That's awesome. And it looks like the next is using the breakout room feature. Very cool. And we have a couple people who've done the annotate and whiteboard. So it looks like everyone's tried out some of these. Maybe the least one would be checking the attendance roster. So I can kind of demo some of these. I'm not sure if we'll have time to do all of them, but I'll definitely hit a couple of them. So let me go ahead. We'll maybe try doing, we'll start with creating a poll since that was kind of mentioned by Georgia. Let me get to that. Okay, so there's different ways to create a poll. So, oh yeah, and sorry, if you're seeing the poll results, you can just click the X if you don't want to see it anymore. I think that's something you'll just manually have to click out once you're done looking at that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just show you how to do a poll. So as mentioned, there's the option to do it if you're a host. You can just click the polls from your toolbar, and then that'll actually open up the zoom.us in your web browser. So definitely want to start there. So you'll go to the zoom.us and then you can add your questions. So if you have a meeting created, you'll see that like there's no polls yet. So you would just click add, and then that'll launch this little bar where you can add your question, and then you can add in all your options that you want people to answer. One of the options is single choice or multiple choice. So that way people can choose multiple options or just choose one option. So like if it's yes or no, you only want them to choose one, then you can choose single choice. Otherwise you can choose multiple choice. And then when you want to launch it, you go ahead and just click the poll option on your little toolbar that we showed if you're the presenter, like a host or co-host. And then it'll look like this, and you would click launch, and then it'll share it out with everyone. And then as mentioned before, if you don't have a poll and you want to create a new one, it'll click launch, and then you would go to add a new question, but that opens up a new browser for you to create your poll. And then kind of what we all saw, it's launched. And then the polls are coming in. It has a timer, so you can see how long the poll's up. So you can like say it only wants to be open for 30 seconds. You can do that and manage the timing. And then like I did, I clicked share results. That way everyone can see it. And then yeah, you can do stop sharing as well, and that'll close it. But everyone also has to just click the X too. So that's just some of the key things about polling. And then let me quickly share how to do the usage attendance list. So I know that was mentioned. So it's kind of different. I actually just learned this recently. So you're going to want to go to the zoom.us and then go to the reports. So since you can't really share out the Zoom platform when you're presenting, I took some screenshots. So once you go to reports from the zoom.us, you'll see two options. So you can do usage or meetings. And if you do usage, that'll show you everyone that's been at a meeting. It might just be like the names of the people there. So it won't have like contact information unless you click like register for the meeting. So I'm gonna go ahead, I clicked usage, and you'll see all the meetings that you've ever hosted. If you don't see any, you just have to adjust your time range. So I pulled from December through the end of December, and these are kind of the meetings I've hosted. And it's not really intuitive, but you actually have to click on the little tiny blue number for your participants to see a full list. So just keep that in mind, because you might see it, you try to click on, you try to click on your meeting title, but nothing happens. It's because you actually have to click on the tiny number so you can see it. So once you click that, I don't have the next screenshot, but it'll have your full list. And if people like log in and out, it'll have their names multiple times. But there is a feature that, oh yeah, where to find reports. But I'll get to that, Jennifer. But let me finish that thought. So yeah, there's a feature where you can remove duplicates. So I think, let me see if I'm logged in. Let me just go real quick to demo this real quick. I think I might be able to do it from the browser. So this is what Zoom.us looks like. I'm logged in, I think. So let me see. You would click my account. And then you can go to reports. It'll be on the far left. If it goes, sorry, it's a little slow. And this is that screenshot I mentioned. You can click usage or meetings. Meetings is if you had people register for your event. Usage is just to see everyone that's logged in. And here we go. You can see your meetings, and then to click it, you have to click participants to see your full list. I think this is one I just hosted by myself, so I logged in multiple times, but it'll kind of look like this. And if you only want to see unique users, then you would just click that. And it was just, I logged in with my phone and the computer. And you can export it too, so you can download it to your computer if you need to see your attendance list. And I think that's, oh, is it for paid subscriptions only? I'm not too sure, but I know if you had the Zoom, oh, Pretty says she doesn't think so. Let's see, options. Yeah, that's true, Chris. Yeah, so I don't think you you have to have a paid one. I might work for the free version. If not, Girl Scouts also has the GS Zoom discounts too, and that's offered to volunteers. If you haven't taken advantage of that, let us know and we can share more information on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to our product team, and they're gonna share some stuff about cookies. Or are there any questions?
One quick question before we head into contactless cookie selling. One of the volunteers asked, what is quick unmute?
Oh, yeah. So if you're muted right now and on a computer, you can click the space bar, like hold it down as if you're like, you know, like a walkie-talkie, you hold it down to talk. So if you're muted, you can hold down the space bar and talk. It unmutes you for as long as you're holding the space bar down. And then you just stop and then it'll mute you again. So I think as long as it's like, you're not on the meeting setting where no one can unmute or no one's allowed to mute, yeah, you can do it. So if you guys want to try it, you just hold your space bar down and then you can see the unmute thing. Yeah, like pop off. And I
like this, can you guys hear me? Yeah, there you go. I'm on.
Yeah.
That's super cool, Lauren. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know about that.
I accidentally like landed on the space bar and I was like, why am I unmuted? But yeah, and then I Googled it and apparently it's like a thing. I think on your phone it's a little different, but I know if you like swipe all the way to like the left or right, there's an option for like safe drive mode, but you can tap and that like quickly unmutes you so you can talk. I'm not sure how it is on Androids, but I know on iPhones, yeah, if you're like driving and you just need to tap to talk about something, you can do that feature too on a phone. So yeah, I found that pretty helpful, especially if you have like a ton of girls and everyone's talking, but then you kind of just want them to use the mute button to unmute. That could be helpful too.
Pretty added for the opposite to mute everyone. The quick muting alternative is Alt plus M.
Oh, I haven't tried that.
And Kristen added on the Chrome.
Ah, got it. I was like, I'm muted too.
It was literally everyone.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. Are there any other questions in chat, Winnie, that you see?
That's it right now, I think.
Okay, cool. So I'm sure we'll probably send out the slides to you so you can see all the other Zoom tips we have. But right now, that's kind of what we have time for. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our product team and let me stop sharing.
Cool. Thanks, Lauren and everyone and Winnie and Chris. So I'm just here to give a quick overview of what's happening for cookies this year. Some of this might be things that you've already heard if you are already part of the program this year. But I think everyone can assume the cookies are going to be looking a little different this year. We've structured our ideas around booths in alignment with the way we had been approaching girl meetings and troop meetings at the start of the pandemic. So of course, I'm sure all of us have a lot of hope that our communities are getting vaccinated and we're continuing to stay at home and be healthy. But realistically, it's very unlikely that we're going to have any cookie booths this year. So that presents a very unique challenge for the year, because booths and getting out, having girls get out in the community has been the #1 way that they've been able to connect with their customers. Parents going to work and taking their Girl Scout to take some orders at work. That's not happening either. So we need to figure out, or our big challenge at council was, how do we connect our customers to their girls? So we have things like our online shop locator, which I'll talk about at the end, and our program support materials are all very much focused on digital marketing, making videos, connecting with customers on the phone or through Zoom, and guiding girls to innovate in those special ways that I'm sure they're going to think of things we've never even dreamed of yet. We talked about TikTok. There's this thing called TikTok now. I'm sure I've already seen some other councils girls do TikTok videos, so I'm excited to see what our girls are going to do this year. Kirsten's also with me, who is actually our financial expert on our staff team, but is our resident Girl Scout parent as well. She's the only staff member on our product team that has a girl who is a Girl Scout age. So Kirsten, how important is family support to girl success this year in entrepreneurship?
Yeah, sure, Connor. So this year we're really relying heavily on family engagement to support our girls. As staff and as a parent, I understand that girl success within the cookie program depends on a full team supporting them. From a parent's perspective, what that looks like is planning with your girl and helping her evaluate her plan, partnering with your troop volunteers, and really being that operational lead, helping girls design marketing campaigns to build customer database, and helping her refine her approach by customer. What families will notice are that they are their girls' first employees. We really want families to know that they will have increased roles this year, and that their roles are relatable to business, such as, we have logistics, operational leads, we have our CEOs, we have our chief financial officer. So it's really relatable to real life experiences. And that's what we want our families to know and our troop volunteers to know, that it's relatable.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Kirsten. I saw Hyro make a very, very brief cameo there.
Life from home.
Yeah, it's real life, y'all. So how are girls doing this year? You're going to do all this year. Obviously, we have a big focus on digital cookie. We know girls are spending their entire days on the computer. And, it only takes a few minutes to sit down with your girl and get set up. And the platform is able to sell and support girls who want to sell, from 10 boxes to 100 boxes this year. So physical cookies will be out in circulation for local ordering. We've already had troops place their initial order to have cookies to accept orders through digital cookie for local girl delivery, to do contactless drop-offs. So what that essentially looks like is just being safe, having their local customers place an order on digital cookie, pay for it by credit card, so there's no transacting in person, and then their parents can help arrange dropping that off at a location. Probably most of the time it's going to be somebody's porch to have the order delivered. We have delivery and distribution guidance on our website that walks us through. It can walk you through the Girl Scout expectations for, safety, but none of it is really going to be surprising. It's mostly just all of the precautions that we've been continuing to take in our communities: wear a mask, stay clean, stay distant, and all of that. And then also back to digital cookie, new this year, A site can actually be set up at the troop level if the troop wishes to centralize all their sales and relieve that individual burden on families to manage orders. And yeah, like I said, also on the girl and troop level sites, girl delivery options can be turned off if girls do not wish to participate in contactless drop-offs and just want to have their customers order for shipping. So sites open today for setup. So parent emails went out to, or should have gone out already today if they haven't already, for getting sites set up. But girls can join in at any point in the season through the end date, which is March 14th. And also new this year, we're hosting something called the GS NorCal Online Shop Locator on our website that girls and troops can submit their sites to have hosted on there. That will open up to customers next Saturday when sales launch on the 23rd, but it'll be promoted out everywhere, and opt-in should be available by the end of the day today. So that's all the notes I had to share, but happy to take questions from the chat or unmuted.
Yes, Connor and Kirsten, we have a question. Our first question in chat is about the order cards. She says, for years, parents have taken their order cards into the office, and can they do that this year? Not everyone has the ability to organize a Zoom presentation to do their pitch. Can they take order cards to their office?
So around the parents taking order cards, we want girls to be involved in the process somehow. That if girls cannot physically go into the office with the parent, we absolutely understand. Then maybe they could make a video, write a letter, something to include where she is having some interaction with those customers, with their parents' coworkers, so that she's involved in the process as well. That's my suggestion for that. That can be, we don't have any specific rules behind it. It's just we want the girl to be involved in the process.
I would add, it's super easy to print that girls' troop store URL or QR code onto a sticker and put that on the order card, because then they can just take a quick shot of that, do any purchases directly through the girls' store, and hopefully girls will have pictures and videos uploaded in their store for customers to see as well. Next question, can you explain the partnership with Grubhub and how that will benefit our girls?
Yes, so Girl Scouts National GSUSA has created has partnered with Grubhub to offer councils a connection with the system to have site cookies on the platform for customers to order and the ability for councils to fill those orders. This is a brand new program, and we are still working out a lot of the details behind it. But what we know now is we're going to have pickup sites hosted at all of our regional offices except Alameda, and our East Bay area site will be at a girls' place in Fairfield. Because of the pandemic this year, and because just simply we're only going to have ordering open on Sundays throughout the program, so 6 days, we had to tap girls specific to each site to support this process. It'll be individual households, kind of on a shift basis, where girls will be helping fill those orders. We haven't completely ironed out all the details of what the shifts are going to look like, or even like which specific girls in the troops that we've identified who are going to be there. But the way that this is supporting the entire council is through a campaign that we have mentioned in our troop program guide for the year, which is called Give Joy, Get Joy. And what this campaign is that all girls who are participating in the cookie program this year have the ability to opt into the online shop locator, like I mentioned earlier. And if they do this by February 7th, we are going to gift 3 packages to every girl who opts into the locator via eBuddy. More details to come about that, so that she can then gift them to a family in need, her neighbors, whoever, to spread a little joy this year in our communities when we need it most. So the revenue that is getting pulled in through the Grubhub program is going to support the cost of those 3 free packages for every girl. Of course, like, you know, this is a new program. We have no idea whether we're going to sell 2 packages through Grubhub or 2,000. But we'll definitely keep definitely our troop and service unit cookie volunteers updated on how the program is going throughout the year. And then we hope that the girls that we did tap for the program this year will be able to share their experience in future seasons with even more girls who will be able to take advantage of this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Next question. I was looking at Digital Cookie this morning and saw, quote, your local council is not offering Girl Scout delivery for cookie orders, unquote. But it sounds like customers will be able to choose contactless delivery by My Girl Scout.
That is correct. The reason the note is still up on Digital Cookie is that our sales haven't opened yet. That'll go away once sales open.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's really reassuring for a lot of people.
Yeah, there's some weird notes and settings in Digital Cookie this year that are strange like that. So we apologize. Our the GSUSA team is working really hard to make sure everything's working properly, but with a lot of new features this year, there's been a few hiccups. So we appreciate your patience, and we, you know, keep the questions coming, because the main ways we figure out if something's wrong is through you all. So yeah, happy to help.
There's a few more questions about Grubhub. It says, so girls would go to the office for Grubhub pickup sites with their troop cookies? It's a question.
Most of the sites will actually have a cupboard there. So council will be providing the cookies for most of the sites. Again, this is being managed on a site-by-site basis, and some of those details are still the ones that we're working out. The current plan is we will have cookies available for them to use.
Next question. Can you talk about how the online locator will work for girls and troops? Will girls be able to enter their home zip code instead of their troop zip code?
Yes, and yes, that is correct. On the intake form that girls fill out to opt into the locator, there is they enter their local zip code, the one that they are in, to help identify or help customers get connected to them in that local zip code. So yes, girls should use the zip code that they are spending the most time in.
Next question. Not everyone has gotten the digital cookie invitation yet. Should they just wait or go to the FAQ page and try to register?
All of our parent emails that are of girls that are currently registered should be in the system. So if they do want to go ahead and get started, they can go directly to the digital cookie login link. Oh, I see we have a lot of questions. Sorry, y'all. Which I can put in the chat. And they should be able to request their own registration email if they haven't received the one from the system yet. On the other hand, like I said, troop email or parent emails just started going out today. So it's very possible it just hasn't arrived in their inbox yet. But the login site is digitalcookie.girlscouts.org/login. And I can.
Are you ready for another question?
Oh yeah, I can tell. I just
I didn't know.
I wanted to be respectful of time. I wasn't sure how long this is going on.
We've got a little bit more time.
Okay,
for sure. Could you talk about the cookie shop for the troop? Is this a separate digital link? How do we organize those deliveries if they opt for contactless deliveries?
Yes. So, what was the first question, Winnie? Sorry, I heard the second.
Is it a separate digital link from the girls' stores?
Yes.
And how do we organize those deliveries?
Yes, it is a separate link. Anyone who has troop level eBuddy access will have access to set it up. The specific directions are in the troop guide, I think in the middle on page 9 or 10 if you need those. But although the site is set up to, you have to name a troop site lead. Like I said, anyone who has troop level eBuddy access will have access to manage the ordering for the troop site. When you set it up, it does default to only accepting shipped and donated orders, not girl delivery. Troops, if you are a cookie volunteer, you would have received an update message from us this week explaining that brand new this week, they have added the ability to turn on girl delivered orders for the troop site. So it is completely up to your troop whether you'd like to turn this on or keep it off. But if you do choose to turn it on, the order management process is very similar to the way parents would do it for their girls. An girl delivered order comes in, the parent, which would be for the troop, the designated troop adult, would have to accept that order within, I think it's 48 hours, but don't quote me on that. I would have to check to know, but there is a limited amount of time that one of the volunteers does need to accept the order. Outside of that, arranging for delivery is completely up to how your troop wants to handle it. If you want to assign orders to specific girls to deliver, if you want to centralize them in the troop, how the orders get delivered is completely up to you. But the way those orders get managed is similar to how troops may have handled booth cookies in the past. All those cookies will port into eBuddy under a dummy girl, and then by the end of the program, your troop will choose how to allocate those sales out to all your girls. Did that cover kind of the overview of how that works? Yeah.
I think so. Next question is about the option where girls can purchase a laptop with rewards cards. It says it's now through January 31st, and she's a Girl Scout interested in doing that. So how can she connect with that?
Yeah, so we have a general reward card conversion form on our website. I'm going to pull up the link now and pop it in the chat for all the different ways girls can redeem more reward cards for things that aren't just using them at the shop, like for awards, support, or travel, troop travel, that type of thing, events. And we've added the option through the end of the month for girls to redeem part or all of their reward cards toward the purchase of a computer or a tablet to help support their digital cookie experience this year. So I'm gonna pop that link in the chat right now. Reward card conversion.
And will that option be available again when girls receive their rewards cards for cookie sales?
I cannot guarantee that. We will try. The reason why it's a limited opportunity is that there's some certain rules we have to follow around our rewards programs. And this particular offering is, our finance team feels it's toting the line a little bit with keeping within IRS regulations. Our team is really trying to push to think of lots and lots of different ways for girls to be able to redeem their reward cards. And this is one of them. I don't exactly remember why this is kind of funky, but we offered it briefly in the fall. We offered it briefly in now in the spring. So hopefully I think we might be getting to a point where we can offer it kind of all year round now that we have gone so digital. But the idea is we have to have some sort of program component tied to it. And for these, it's really focused around that digital selling experience.
So we have more questions. It is also 10:30, which was our scheduled end time for this webinar. So we want to be respectful of everyone's time. I think some of us staff people can stay on a little longer to answer questions. Connor, Kirsten, are you available to stay on for a few more minutes?
Yeah, and before everyone goes, I will mention our product team is hosting Q&A sessions every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Zoom throughout the cookie program. to help support all of these different cookie questions. So yes, we have that available as well. And then always info@gsnorcal.org. We're here. Your service unit teams are here as well to support with cookies. We know a lot is different this year, and there's a lot of questions, but we are here to help. So thanks for your patience. We're working on getting to everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
But I am available to stay.
So for anybody who wants to stay on, the next question on the list is if you could quickly touch on the difference between the cookie finder versus ilovecookies.org.
Yes. So I like to call them the GS NorCal online shop locator and the GS USA cookie finder. So the difference is one is local for our council and the other is national. The one that's local for our council, which is the ilovecookies.org, is something that girls and troops have to submit that form that I mentioned to opt into, and it is only available for our council's girl entrepreneurs and troops. The National Cookie Finder is something that GSUSA has set up, and they will specifically be hosting those troop digital cookie sites that I mentioned, automatically as long as they're set up, but only if you keep that girl delivery option turned off. The sites that customers will find on that national locator will only be, they'll only have the ship and donate options available. And yeah, that's the difference. We don't want you to have to accept an order from Idaho and have to go deliver it in person.
All right. I'm checking through lots and lots of messages. I think the last one I really see here is who should volunteers contact for digital cookie help? It doesn't seem to allow me to set up my troop shop, and I am the troop product manager.
That would be me. So I'll pop my email in the chat here and send me your name, email, and troop number, and I will take a look to see what's happening.
Okay, so everybody do not forget, we have that weekly cookies Q&A, and as well, we plan to have this webinar series each month, and we are also planning to host it on a Saturday as well, so that we can catch people who have a tough time making it during the week. The session is recorded. We'll get that available and out to you all, and as well as the slide deck. Thank you for coming. And it's a pleasure to be working with all you wonderful volunteers.